Hey everybody, welcome back to Brainiac Baseball's 1980 Detroit Tigers season replay. Today's matchup is between the Baltimore Orioles and the Detroit Tigers at Tiger Stadium. On the mound for Baltimore today is Jim Palmer, whose record is 13-9 with a 3.75 ERA, and pitching for the Tigers is Jack Morris, whose record is 12-7 with a 3.50 ERA. And so we won a nail-biter yesterday. We were up 10-2, and the Indians scored 7 runs in the 8th and 9th inning combined. And it came down to the last pitch because the Indians had the bases loaded. So we almost blew that game. It was actually a lot of fun. You should watch it if you haven't seen it. The bad news is we lost 2 relief pitchers. Pat Underwood, who's a lefty, who is going to be out for a month. So we'll get him back in time for the start of September. And we lost Tom Hume, who was our long reliever, really, and he's out for until next year. And he goes to arbitration, so I might just cut him loose. But anyway, the point of it is we lost 2 of our relief pitchers the day after the trade deadline. But I was smart, and I made a trade for Keith Comstock, and we brought him into the lineup. And then I brought back up Bob Stanley, who I traded for in the Gary Hancock trade with Carlton Fisk. So maybe we've got it covered. We certainly can't take another hit to the bullpen because we are in trouble otherwise. So let's go ahead and get to the game here. This is a very important series as we take a look at the bullpen. Roger Weaver, who got beat around pretty bad in yesterday's game, he's not available today. So this game here today, as you look at the lineup, these are all of our standard players in the game today. We are playing the Baltimore Orioles, who is a half game behind us. And so we're 2.5 back from the Yankees, and they're 3 back. So basically, if we can win this series and sweep it, then we will maybe have enough of a lead on the Orioles to just not to have to worry about them again. So I guess that's what I'm trying to say is we can eliminate them after this. So let's take a look at the Orioles lineup here, and then on the right side you'll see the 1980 Topps card that represents them. So batting leadoff and making his season debut is Wayne Krenchicki. Batting second and in center field is Al Bumbry. Batting third and at first base is Eddie Murray. Batting cleanup and in left field is Jeff Burrows. Batting fifth and DHing is Gary Renicky. Batting sixth and at third base is Doug DeCinces. Batting 7th and in right field is Ken Singleton. Batting 8th and catching is Glenn Borgman. And batting 9th is the shortstop, Dave Concepcion. And here's Jack Morris's stats. This is his 23rd start. He's 12-7 with a 3.50 ERA. Opponents are batting .254 against him. Pretty good walk to strikeout ratio. And he's got 3 complete games, and he did pitch a shutout earlier in the season. So I believe he is coming off of a loss. Yeah. He went 8 innings against Seattle, but the defense let him down, if I remember correctly. So let's go ahead and get this game going. Here's Wayne Krenchicki, as I mentioned, making his season debut at second base today. And he hits a fly ball to center field, and Marino has it for the first out, so 1 down. Up next is Al Bumbry. He was 4 for 12 against Morris. And Bumbry slaps the base hit past Hebner at third. So Bumbry's on first, and he's a threat to steal with a 90 speed rating. So 1 down, Bumbry at first for Eddie Murray. And Bumbry was going, but Parrish guns him down at second. So Bumbry's caught stealing for the second out. Bases are cleared with Eddie Murray in a 1-2 count. And Murray goes down swinging. So good bounce back for the Tigers there. And let's take a look at the Tigers lineup. Batting leadoff for Detroit is Sweet Lou Whitaker. And batting second and playing short is Alan Trammell. Batting third and at first base is Jason Thompson. Batting cleanup and in left is Steve Kemp. Batting fifth and catching is Lance Parrish. Batting sixth and in right field is Gary Hancock. Batting seventh and DHing is Carlton Fisk. Batting eighth and at third is Richie Hebner. And batting ninth and in center field is Omar Marino. And pitching for Baltimore today is Jim Palmer. He's making his 25th start of the year. He's 13-9 with a 3.75 ERA. Opponents are batting .242 against him. He's got 7 complete games and 1 shutout. And I notice here that his current ERA is the highest of his entire career for a season. So I don't know if he's struggling necessarily, but age 34, I guess he may be showing some wear. So Lou Whitaker will lead off. He's 6 for 17 with a home run against Palmer, and he had the day off yesterday as Mark Wagner played second and did a good job at second base. And so Whitaker grounds to third. Alan Trammell's up next. Trammell's 4 for 17 against Palmer. We've seen the Orioles quite a bit. And frankly, they've had our number. I think we're 3-11 against them this year. So Trammell flies out to center field. That's 2 down. And here's Thompson, who had a home run yesterday. And he's going to get a base hit up the middle as it just squeaks into center field. And we've got Thompson on first. Up next is Steve Kemp with a runner on first. And slider, Kemp hits it to right field, and it's caught by Kenny Singleton. So we head to the top of the second. Jeff Burrows leads off. Burrows has a home run against Morris this year. And he's going to hit a fly ball to left. Kemp has it for the first out, so 1 down. Up next is Gary Renicky, also has a dinger against Jack Morris. And he's going to fly out to Hancock. So 2 down. And Doug DeCince's up. And he also has a home run against Morris. And he's going to slap a base hit past Thompson at first and coast into second for a double. So runner in scoring position. Second hit of the game for the Orioles. And Kenny Singleton is up next. And Morris wants nothing to do with him. Walks him on 4 pitches on a low outside pitch. So they'd rather face Borgman, it looks like. First and second. And 2 down, and Borgman hits a liner to the left, and Kemp gets it for the third out. So we squirm out of a tight situation, head to the bottom of the second. Lance Parrish leads off. Parrish had his 10th home run yesterday. Tigers had 4 home runs altogether as Parrish lines out to left. And so with 1 down, Gary Hancock is up next, batting .307 against righties. And he grounds to third for the second out. And here's the man of the hour. Carlton Fisk went 5 for 5 with 2 home runs and 5 RBIs yesterday, but he's 0 for 10 against Palmer. And he won't keep the hit streak alive as he pops out to short for the third out. So we head to the top of the third. Morris is at 24 pitches. Score is tied with number 9 hitter Dave Concepcion coming up. He grounds it weakly to Trammell, who throws him out for the first out. And we're back to the top of the lineup with Krenchicki, who eventually did play for Detroit in mostly a pinch hitting role. And Krenchicki gets a base hit to left field. So runner on first. Up next is Bumbry, who had the first hit of the game. And he hits it sharply to left. And it's caught on a line by Kemp for the second out. And with 2 down, That brings up Eddie Murray, Hall of Famer, and he hits it high and deep to left center field, and it's gone. So that's the 18th home run on the year for Murray, a 2-run shot. And they take an early 2-0 lead. And that's tough, as Burroughs grounds it to short. It's ace versus ace with Morris and Palmer, and we have struggled all year against Palmer, as Hebner leads off the bottom of the third, and he flies out to left. So we're going to need some big hits here to put a dent in the pitch count for Palmer, as Marino does walk. So let's hit and run. Let's get things going with Sweet Lou up next. And Lou's going to ground it to short. And Concepcion throws Whitaker out at first. Marino's in scoring position with 2 down, and we need a clutch hit here from Trammell. And not going to happen as he grounds it to short, and that's the third out. So we go to the top of the fourth, and Renicky will lead it off against Morris, and Morris walks him. That's the second walk for Morris against only 1 strikeout so far. And Doug DeCinces is up next, and he hits it all the way to the wall in center field. Renicky has to hold at third, and it's second and third with nobody out. We got to pull the infield in. Yeah, against Singleton here, we cannot give up another run the way our infield is hitting. And there's an infield hit, and everyone's safe, and the run scores. It's 3-0. And, again, we got to pull the infield in. We cannot give up another run. As Glenn Borgman steps in, nobody out. And Borgman's waving at nothing as the ball was so far outside. So there's a strikeout. We're going to pull Hebner in at third. Keep everybody else back for a double play. And Concepcion hits it deep enough to center that it will get the run in from third. So a sac fly RBI for Concepcion, and we are down 4-0. Back to the top of the lineup with Krinchicki, and Morris walks Krinchicki. He's up to almost 60 pitches now. So we're going to pull the outfield in case there's a base hit. Singleton's even slower than Jason Thompson, so we don't want him scoring on a base hit. And we're going to find out, because there's a hit for Bumbry, and Singleton is held at third. So this is the second bad outing now for Morris, as Eddie Murray comes up. He's got a home run. He put the first 2 runs on the board. Now bases are loaded for Murray, and Murray grounds it to third, and that is the third out of the inning. So we're down by 4 here in the bottom of the fourth, and Jim Palmer is beneficent at 35 pitches, although he does walk his second batter with Thompson. So runner at first, a double play candidate, Steve Kemp is up. And we're going to let him swing away, and he does. He gets a base hit to center field. Thompson has to hold. And first and second now for Parrish. 1 for 16 against Jim Palmer this year. So let's see if he can break out of it. Nope, he's going to ground it right to short. That should be 2. It is. Thompson's at third. And it's going to be up to Gary Hancock, who's in a little slump of his own against Palmer. But he is going to slap a base hit to left field. And we are on the board as Hancock drives in the first run. He is clutch. He's really been our best hitter all year, batting .294. And I think he leads the team in RBIs. And then Palmer walks Fisk. So 3 walks against Palmer. As next up is Richie Hebner. It's first and second, 2 down. And a base hit ought to bring us within 1. As Hebner grounds it to first, and Murray has it for the third out. So at least we won't be shut out as we put a run on the board and close the lead to 4-1. And we head to the top of the fifth with Jeff Burroughs leading off. And Burroughs grounds it back to Morris. And Morris gets Burroughs for the first out. So 1 down. Here's Gary Renicky. And Renicky's going to get a base hit to left. That's the 8th hit against Morris today, plus the 3 walks. So he's allowed 11 base runners, and we're not even through 5. So one down, here's Doug DeCinces. And DeCinces lines it to center field. Marino has it for the second out. So with two down, Kenny Singleton steps in. And he hits it down the left field line all the way to the wall. Brainiac holds at third as Kemp gets it back in quickly. And it's runners at second and third. And this might be the last batter for Morris as Glenn Borgman steps in with two runners in scoring position. And Borgman takes a third strike looking. So this is not the game for Morris, clearly, as Omar Marino leads off the bottom of the fifth. And Marino's going to get a base hit to left field. So, I think we got to try to steal second. We got to get in scoring position. We're going to pitch out? Yeah, of course. Oh, but he steals second base anyway. So we somehow managed to beat the pitch out. Maybe Borgman doesn't have a good arm. Let's take a look. Now he's got 83. He's above average. So runner in scoring position. Here's Sweet Lou. And Lou's going to hit it down the left field line all the way to the wall. Marino scores easily. And Whitaker's got himself a double and an RBI. Cut the lead in half. It's 4-2 now. And here's Trammell. We're going to try to hit to the right side. At the very least, push Trammell. Oh, as Trammell smashes it right into the dirt. But Palmer boots it, and Trammell is safe at first. So first and third for JT. We're going to hit and run now for sure. In this situation, nobody out. And Thompson's going to get a base hit to left. Whitaker scores. Trammell's hustling into third. And we're within a run. It's 4-3. It's still nobody out. So we're going to flip it over to a sac fly opportunity for Kemp. But we'll take whatever he can give us. They're playing back. So even on a double play ball, Trammell will score. And that won't be necessary as Kemp does hit a sac fly to deep left field. Trammell tags up and scores. And the game is tied. Just like that, we turn this game around. Score 4 unanswered runs. And it's only one out. Thompson's at first. Here's big wheel Lance Parrish. And Parrish pops it straight up toward the mound. And Borgman has it for the second out. Actually, it says popped up back to the pitcher. So I guess the pitcher actually... Jim Palmer is a Gold Glove winning pitcher. So I guess that's not unusual. And Gary Hancock with 2 down is going to dump it into left center field. It falls in front of the center fielder. And Thompson coasts into third. So Bumbry let that one drop in front of him. First and third now. Wow. Here's Fisk, who had, like I said, had that huge day yesterday. He can be a hero right now. Oh, and he pops it straight up to the shortstop, Dave Concepcion. And he drops it, and the run scores. Oh, my God. Wow, Baltimore is falling apart as we've taken the lead on the error by Concepcion. And now Hebner's up with his 0 for 12 against Palmer. This is a good time to get a hit right now. Oh, and he strikes out swinging. As Orioles defense did them no good in that inning, as we now have a 5-4 lead here in the top of the 6th. Let's flip it over to the game stats. And you can see here, as of now, it looks like the player of the game, I don't know, I kind of want to give it to Hancock for at least getting the game going for us, but we'll see how it plays out. It's too early to tell. So we're going to at least let Morris pitch to Concepcion as we have the lead at 5-4, top of the 6th. And Concepcion's going to get a base hit to left field. So that's it for Morris. We tried. We're going to bring in a lefty. And that lefty is going to be newly acquired Keith Comstock, who we got right before the trade deadline from Minnesota. We gave up a AAA pitcher. And take a look at his stats for the first time for most of you. This is his 11th game. He's 2-2 with a 3.71 ERA. A good walk to strikeout ratio. Opponents are only batting 188 against him. And lefties are batting 184. So What better time than now for him to face Krinchicki with Concepcion at first. He gets Krinchicki to ground it to short, and they can't turn two. They just get Concepcion at second. So one down. Here's Al Bumbry. He's 2 for 3 today. And Bumbry grounds it to Trammell. Is that 2? Yes. So we get out of the inning. And Morris leaves with the lead. So he is the pitcher of record for what it's worth. And we head to the bottom of the 6th as Omar Marino leads off. And Marino walks. So we are going to try to steal second again. Let's see if they pitch out one more time. Keep the pressure on. Nope, right down the middle, and he does steal second base. So the second stolen base for Marino today. And so with an 0-1 count, here's Lou Whitaker. And they walk Whitaker, not intentionally, but with first and second and Trammell up, I like our odds. And Trammell goes down and hits the ball right to third. And instead of stepping on the bag at third, he goes to second to get Whitaker. So it's first and third, one down. And we're going to put the hit and run on for Thompson. That worked last time with the base hit for him. So we got some speed on the bags, and he grounds it to third. That should score Marino. It does. And they can only get Thompson at first. So Trammell's in scoring position. We get another run on the board. 6 unanswered runs as Kemp steps in, and he walks. Is that 6 walks for Palmer? Wow, that is what I believe to be very unlike him. So with 2 down, Parrish steps in, and he strikes out looking. So we do get another run on the board, take a 6-4 lead. And it looks like Murray, I got to check some stats here real quick. So, okay, Murray hits lefties better than righties. So we're going to take out Comstock. And we're going to bring in Bob Stanley. His first appearance since very early in the season. And let's face it, he was pretty bad for us. We stuck him in there to get a few starts in the absence of Milt Wilcox, and he could not get it done. But by all accounts, he's a pretty solid pitcher. So let's see if he's turned it around after a good minor league stint. Nope, as Eddie Murray gets a base hit through the right side. That's 11 hits for the Orioles. Next up is Jeff Burrows, hitless today. And he goes down swinging. Stanley gets a strikeout. Next up is Gary Renicky. Murray's on first. And Renicky grounds it to Trammell. Is that an easy 2? It is. And that'll be all for Palmer as he exits the game here to start the bottom of the 7th. Tim Stoddard is up next. He's got 23 games this year. This will be his 23rd game. He's 1-0 with a 3.23 ERA, and opponents are batting .219. No saves, but he's been a pretty solid pitcher, it looks like. And Hancock, who hits righties pretty well. He's batting .311 versus righties. Grounds it to short, and Concepcion has it for the first out. Next up is Fisk, who after his 5 for 5 days, 0 for 2. Make it 0 for 3 as he grounds it to Murray at first. So 2 down for Richie Hebner. Hebner is also hitless today with a strikeout against Palmer. And he hits a hard line drive to the left, but it's going to be caught by Burrows. And we head to the 8th. And we're going to take out Stanley. He did well for his 1 inning. We're going to bring in Dave Tobick, who did not pitch in yesterday's game. I think he was the only reliever who didn't. And we're trying to use him sparingly, as he's at 53 games now with this game. A 4-1 record, 2.72 ERA, and opponents are batting .256. He does have a save as well. So with DeSense starting off the top of the 8th against Tobick, he hits a lazy fly ball to right, but Hancock has a beat on it for the first out. So 1 down for Singleton. He's a switch hitter. He bats .264 versus righties. He pops it straight up to Whitaker. That's the second out. So we're 4 outs away from winning game 1 of this series, and Tobik walks Borgman. So that run is not important, but the tying run is at the plate now with Concepcion. And he's going to hit a blooper right over Whitaker's head. Will it get down? No. A great catch by Hancock, I guess. And so it's 6-4 in the bottom of the 8th. Stoddard is still in there. And Omar Moreno will lead off. He's 1 for 1 with 2 stolen bases. Is that another base hit? Oh, nice. That's another base hit for Moreno. So we got a 2-run lead. We're going to hit and run with Whitaker. I don't want a chance of him getting thrown out with another one. There we go. There's a base hit for Whitaker up the middle. Moreno's at third. First and third, nobody out. And with one swing of the bat, Trammell can put this game out of reach. As he grounds it to second. Is that a 2? It is a double play, but the run scores. No RBI for Trammell. But we have ourselves a 7-4 lead with 2 outs and Thompson to the plate. And Thompson hits a home run in 3 consecutive games, I believe. I guess I can look that up real quick. Game log. Yes. So the last 2 games of the Cleveland series and this game. So he is on fire right now since I moved him to the number 3 spot. And that is his 10th home run of the year. Okay, so that's exciting. So now it's 8-4. We'll take all the runs we can get against Baltimore. And Kemp is up next, and he drills it into the gap in left center field for a double. And now we have 11 hits, matching the Orioles. So we cannot be stopped. That is, 8 consecutive runs scored. Parrish is going to fly out to right field, and that will end the inning as we go to the 9th. We're going to take out our third baseman, Hebner, for a defensive replacement, Tommy Brookins, here in the 9th. And we have lefties to face, so that means it's going to be Capizzello. And Capizzello faced one batter yesterday, and he did not get him out. So I'm a little concerned about his trend as he walks Krenchicki. And I think that's what happened in yesterday's game. So he's struggling versus lefties right now. Runner on first, here's Al Bumbry, who's also a lefty. And he pops a high fly ball to center field. And that is the first out. So 1 down, and we're going to let him face Murray, who is the switch hitter. And then we're going to go to Lopez to close the game out. And Murray hits a fly ball to left field. And that is the second out. And so that's going to be it for Capizzello. And here's Lopez. He's a 3-2, 3.12 ERA. More walks than strikeouts, which is bad. Right? And then 219 batting average. And he leads the league with 27 saves. And all he's got to do is get Jeff Burrows, who's 1 for 1 and 2 walks against him. Wow. And Burrows is going to pop it up into foul ground on the first base side. Thompson has it, and there we go. We win the game. First game of the series, it's 8-4, Detroit. We'll take a look at the transactions and see if anything of note happens. Nothing important. And the new relief pitchers did a good job today as we pull up the box score. And we're only 1 game out of first now, as the Yankees must have lost if we put another game between us and Baltimore. And that's about as good as it gets. So who is going to be the player of the game? It's a tough call between Thompson and the speedy Moreno. I guess, Thompson drove in 3 runs, so I guess we have to give it to the guy who knocked in the run. So Thompson will be our player of the game. Jack Morris does get his 13th win, even though he pitched really bad. But we'll take the victory any way we can get it. The relief pitchers were great. And Palmer is going to take the loss. He's now 13-10. Eddie Murray got his 18th home run. Thompson, he got his 10th. So that's it here from Tiger Stadium. Game 1 is done. Tigers win 8-4. And we'll be back tomorrow with Game 2. Until then, everyone, have a great night.